Hello, Frog, Wildlife, the cat. Good to see y'all. Ronan, thank you for joining me up here. Can y'all hear me?
Thank you for having me. Sorry, I was muted. I forgot to push the button.
That's right. Hey, stands alone. How are all of y'all doing? Everybody staying warm, I hope. Staying safe. Good deal. It's Sunday. So, we were talking earlier about some tips because Anaconda, good to see you. Because as y'all know, Texas is not used to these temperatures, and throughout this community, so I have bubble wrap put on the windows. Didn't do that yet. Oops. And I've got towels rolled up in the doorways where there's a draft. I've got backup heat ready. I'm gonna have to. I didn't get the manual that goes with it, so I don't know what to do with it. So I'll have to look that up. There you go, wildlife. I just watched Justice League and I was like, remember back when they used to do all the superhero movies and they would start out like, um, what'd you call them? Vigilantes? Or when they would just take care of the shenanigans going on in the streets, like taking the law into their own hands, I guess. But then realizing that they had superpowers or something, I don't know. And just made me think about these times and how. And, and then I was listening to some of the men talking. There's a channel. It's called um, the Fourth Watch, and it was the Jesus and Beers live that they did, and listening to the men talking. And hey, Bruce and Al, good to see y'all. And just listening to the men talking and coming up with ideas and how to build small communities in your area, and then they just kind of spread out. And then I've heard some others talking about doing the small communities all the way across the United States, and it just it all connects together. You know what I mean? I don't. Hey, Slow Country, good to see you. And they did. I wanted to talk about the weather and what to expect. I mean, I'm. It's kind of hard to know what to expect because here we are. It's 23 right now. It's going to get down to like 12. And so this is Sunday. Thursday, our high is 72. It's just crazy the way it's up and down. Marshmallow Man and Benjamin, good to see y'all. just neighboring there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I know. I feel for all of y'all that have snow. One of my friends, hey Pebbles, good to see you. One of my friends showed a she was doing a live video. We were talking through one of the things that you can talk and see each other, and she was showing me the roof of her house, and it had like goodness 8 to 10 inches of snow stacked up there. It was even coming out over the gutters, like it was a new awning coming out, and she had to go out there and knock it all off. And so I was telling her, here, when they build homes, they build them for the different zones. And so, like, our roofs probably can't handle as much snow as people up north because they don't, the construction's not the same. Did y'all know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a concern, is I don't want my roof caving in.
No, I don't think you have to worry about your roof caving in.
No,
Your roof,
no,
I'm sure, has a slope to it.
it, it should, because inside it's sloped and it comes to a peak in the middle, so it should. Oh no. And but what's weird is I just got an alert from our electric company. It's a co-op. ERCOT is requesting all Texans to conserve electricity Monday, January 15th. And it just says from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. But what that tells me is um, we're probably going to have an outage. If they're putting out alerts, and they've been saying this for months, kind of. Hey, Elaine, good to see you. Um, I got a letter in the mail a few months ago, and then at that time they were worried about the extreme heat, and so they were saying that there would be, is it called brownouts, where they just do out rolling outages
Kind of
across.
brownouts, yeah, they kind of everything gets a little bit more dim. It's a lot of strain on the network, if
Yes.
you will, on the utilities.
Oh, that's a good one, Al.
Do you use electric to heat your house? Do you guys have like is that the majority? Would you say the majority of people in Texas use electric heat, or do they use propane, or
I
what do
would
you guys
say
use?
it's about half and half. Um, Mine is all electric, but all my life it was, everything was propane. And but when you're renting, you know, a lot of times you don't have that choice. When I bought this, I wish I would have requested a gas cook stove. Um, that was one of the
Uh,
mistakes I made.
the reason I asked was because if it's a mix like that, that's less of a burden on the electrical grid, right? In the summer, electrical
Yes,
AC is all you got. There's no propane AC people are using. There's no people are using electrical AC units to cool down their house, right? Even if it's geothermal, you're still using electric blowing fans and stuff like that, circulating the air, right? So in the winter, if it should
yes,
be a little bit less of a burden on the electrical system. If you're getting outages, I don't think it'd be due to people overusing it as much as it would be power lines down, kind of a thing, because of ice and snow and that kind of a thing.
yes, yes. And since it's supposed to start sleeting tonight through tomorrow, and um, so yeah, if that happens, if it's more rain than sleet with the low temperatures, then we'll have branches breaking on the trees, and um, if I have limbs that have needed to be trimmed for quite a while. Um, my mother has a generator that I can pick up, but kind of waited a little late. So I have the Mr. Betty heater, I have the blankets, I have tent. I I'm gonna be okay through this one, but um, what's weird is I've been hearing end of January, um, and people saying expect another snowmageddon that we had 2 years ago, and that's the one that concerns me. This one I'm not real worried about. I think we're going to make it through, but because it's short lived. The one at the end of January, it doesn't. Let me see if I can share this. See if y'all can hear it. I can't share it like I usually do. So, Ronan, just tell me if you hear it playing.
Okay.
A friend of mine sent this warning, and it's on TikTok. So that's what makes it a little. And my computer's just acting crazy too. Everything's just kind of whacked out.
You're
Probably
on
the weather.
TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok, but this video is, but it won't let me show the video. So I'm hoping that you can get the sound.
Okay.
So let's see what happens.
I am not
Well,
hearing anything
you
if you're
couldn't
telling me.
hear a thing.
No.
Dadgummit. Okay. Hmm. Well, anyway, in this video, she's saying that she's in Texas, and she's saying that she spoke to someone high up. Can't give their name or position or anything like that, of course. And they were telling her into January, watch out and expect long term. And so that's why she was putting out a warning on TikTok, and so it's like with this coming from so many different sources, I don't know how
That's
they
pretty
would.
ominous, don't you think? What does that mean? What did you just say? You said watch out and it's gonna last or something. It's kind of like an ominous.
Uh-oh, I think you're fixing to lose me
Oh, am I breaking up?
because you're roboting. Can y'all hear me? Anybody in
You
chat?
sound fine
Can
to
y'all
me,
hear
so
me?
it's probably on my end. I don't
Oh,
know why it would.
it's gonna throw me out, I think.
How's it sounding in chat? Bruce Wonky, Bruce says 5x5. Ronan broke Bonnie's share button. Told ya, LOL. Um, who can you guys hear in chat? Let's see. 7x7. That's good. I see myself on the screen. Bonnie ditched me. She does that sometimes. I hope you guys can hear me. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. I don't see the little thing moving. Ellen or Elaine could hear both of us, or none of us, or just me at this point. I'm not sure what's happening. Hey, what? I can hear. I hear you. He says. I think that's meant for me. I'm okay. I don't know how both of us could be okay, Elaine. When I only see myself on here, I'm not okay. I'm alone, scared and cold. It's cold, and I'm alone up here on panel by myself. It's 7 degrees outside Fahrenheit. I had to replace the chicken water twice today, once this morning and once this evening. Bonnie is attempting to get back in, but I don't know if I'll let her. Should I not let her back up here? I think ditching somebody when they're up here by themselves is kind of rude. I'm kidding. I have no buttons to push. I'm not in control of this thing. I'm just a guest here running my mouth. But what I like to do when it's cold is stay warm, right? Like, obviously. Um, Couple of things I did just before it got too cold is I put that plastic cellophane stuff over a couple of the windows, keep that breeze out. I use the heavy duty curtains just to make sure that that pesky little breeze doesn't cut through. It keeps that little air buffer between the window and the rest of the house, kind of keeps it right in there. I like that. Elaine, I'm trying to be nice. Hey Gigi, good to see you. Thanks for coming by. This is the Bonnie Show starring Ronan for a few more minutes until Bonnie gets back up here. I think they could be the internet, could be user error, could be weather. Uh, I don't know if kind of same old channel, new concept, Gigi. That's what I think. It's a new concept. We're talking about staying warm when it's not really warm out, you know. I think staying warm starts in the mind. You got to think happy thoughts. You can't think, oh no, I'm a polar bear. I could curl up in the corner and hibernate. You can't do that. You're not a bear. Don't try it. You need to get up, walk around, get the blood circulating through your body every day. You know, that's going to help you stay warm. So, you know, you can't get stuck in that hibernation mindset when it gets real cold. You got to still stay active somewhat, whether it's just walking around the house a little bit more, making sure you're getting that blood flow. You go outside to get the mail, maybe take the dog for a quick brisk walk, you know, not down and around the blocks and frolicking. It ain't time for that. You know, it's just getting some of that sunlight, getting some of that fresh air, and then, you know, kind of get back into that warm fire because it's 4 degrees outside. Okay. That is not a lot of degrees. I know people have it colder, some people have it warmer. And, you know, if you guys have extra degrees where you are, I'd appreciate it if you send them my way. I mean, I get it. It's winter, it gets cold. I would say about 25 degrees at night is the coldest I'd like to see the temperature where I'm at. I don't know about you guys. I get it in the winter. It's got to be, you got to have that freeze. It helps kill off the mosquitoes. It's kind of nice after a while. But, you know, you got to have all 4 seasons, in my opinion. So, you know, winter, you're not going to expect summer and winter. You expect winter and winter. So you got to get in that right mindset. You're not a bear. You're not hibernating. You still have responsibilities and things to do. Don't forget to start the car every now and then. Let it run for a half hour. You don't want it to get froze up. You might need to go somewhere. You might need to get to the hospital. You shouldn't have to go anywhere. You should be prepared. You should be totally prepared. You know, this ain't the time to go shopping. And it's cold and sleet and snow and crazies. Don't forget there's still leftists in this world, folks. They're out there running around in this weather. The weather don't stop them. Weather don't change their mind. They're out there just as crazy as they were the day before. This summer, it's just as crazy, right? Don't forget. Let's see what chat's talking about here. Hey, Pappy, Two Bears, thank you for coming by. Auntie Jack, good to see you. Welcome back, Frog9. Let's see. Yeah, double level pack insulation works. Hey, Stu, good to see you. Insulation, also having good silicone caulking around the windows, making sure everything's all sealed up. You're not getting any drafts. Layers are important. You want to make sure you have a good base layer on, but you don't want your base layer too tight. You know, you don't want it snug even. I'd say you'd almost want it a little loose. You want that base layer a little loose, so that way you have a little bit of air between your body, between your skin and that layer of cloth that kind of stays right there, and that's what keeps your body warm. That air warms up, and you're feeling like, okay, this ain't too bad. That's your base layer. And then if it's really cold like it is today, I put my base layer on, and then I put sweatpants on top of my base layer as like a secondary base layer. Sweatpants or even the pajama pants, if they're kind of loose, you know, real loose, and that way I can tuck them into my socks, and I have a second like air pocket, you know, pocket of air in between there, staying warm from my body heat as well. And then I could put pants on, and so that way you got layer on top of layer, and it's all a little bit loose. So then it's like, okay, you can go. It's 4 degrees outside, but at least I can go. You know, I'll get the mail, walk around the place, take a look at the house, make sure there's no damage if there's severe weather. Maybe you want to make sure there's not icicles forming, that your downspouts are flowing if it's warm enough for them to be flowing. I mean, there's nothing flowing right here. I'll tell you that. It's 4 degrees. Everything's froze solid. Everything froze solid. There ain't nothing flowing. But I did have really strong winds, and I kept hearing this banging on top of the roof. And I saw the wind. I figured, well, could be this, could be that. And I saw it. I went outside to see what it was. And on top of my roof, I have 3 vent pipes coming out. And the one of the vent pipes, that cover came like it popped off. It's like this cheap little piece of tin. And it was like there's 3 little straps, if you will, holding this kind of ghetto cover. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed with the quality of this cover for this vent that's coming out of my roof. It's thin tin. I'm surprised it lasted this long, but I kept hearing it flop around up there. I thought, oh man, my whole roof must be coming apart. I go look and I saw it was just that. So I was like, okay, it's like this cheap little cover. I can replace that, right? Not a big deal. I can replace that. But when the wind's blowing like 1,000,000 miles an hour and it's 4 degrees outside, that's not the time to be doing home repairs. All right. That is not the time to be doing home repairs. I'm not climbing up on this roof just to be blown off, slid off, bust a leg or something like that. Forget about it. It's just a vent cover. A little bit of rain won't get in there because that ain't happening. Maybe some snow overnight, not a big deal, because tomorrow I'll wait till it's kind of sunny, maybe around 2 o'clock, and then I'll go up there and take care of it. Just put something back up there real quick. Well, it was kind of exciting, not gonna lie, you know, but thought, well, could be worse. Always could be worse. I know a lot of people put fuel additives, for example, in the gas in the car around this time of year, so that way it doesn't freeze. It'll evaporate some water out of the gas tank, kind of avoid bigger problems. I know keeping over a half a tank of gas is always a good idea, especially in this weather. You don't want to keep under a half a tank of gas. I'd say that could be causing some potentially some problems. I don't know if you guys have some preferred additives y'all use in your gas. I personally like the Seafoam. I think it's just my personal preference. I know they have all kinds of stuff out there. Al doesn't use additives. He goes at it straight. Do you use any stabilizer? And like, for example, if you got a couple extra cans of gas in the garage or in the shed and it gets pretty cold out there, do you ever add anything to that? I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. I do know when I put the Seafoam in on a full tank of gas, am I right? It purrs like a kitten. I could tear up some asphalt in that thing when I do that. The cat likes Everclear. There you go. Shoot, 190 proof. That'll evaporate the water right out of there. I've never tried that. I don't think I've had the balls to ever try that, to be honest with you. I like where you're going, the cat. I like that idea, though. I like that a lot. Oh, you don't have a garage? I don't either, actually. But I got a 5-gallon gas tank or gas can, in my, little garden shed or whatever. And, it's 4 degrees out there. Obviously, it's not going to freeze, but Everclear will evaporate everything. That's for sure. Hey, Shane. Hey, Kiss Off. I kicked Bonnie out. She was getting real mean and authoritative, and I felt abused. So this, democracy is when the minority rules, and also being the guest here and everything, and it being a democracy, I just went ahead and kicked her. I voted her off the island, so to speak. Oh, here's Bonnie. Shoot. I'm kidding. You don't know how to get back on panel, Bonnie? You clicked the link you sent me in the email. I mean, I'm not a IT expert. Oh, this is interesting. Well, I'm waiting for you to give me direction, Bonnie. I could hit the leave button. I think that closes everything down. I thought you wanted to come back up. I don't know if you want to restart, but I kind of like this. I feel empowered now. That's right, Wildlife. He knows demo crazy rules. And I got all the power. See, it ain't king of the hill. This ain't a republic. Welcome to welcome to America, Bonnie. How does it feel? You let someone else in your house. You're feeling generous. You open up the door to them. You say, hey, why don't you come on in? Let me get you a plate of food and something to drink. And then they end up kicking you right out of your own abode. They're like, no, I like this place a lot, Bonnie. Look at all these people in chat. They're so nice. They're so nice to me. I'm just going to hang out here. I need to make you. Well, I don't know how you're going to give me the power to let you back in, but I'll make a proclamation that I herefore henceforth allow Bonnie back on the show. I feel like I do have the power, but I just don't have the buttons. And that's just kind of how it is sometimes when you have checks and balances, In life, you have different systems running different lands and different things. The one here is supposed to be checks and balances. Like right now, technically, I do have the power. I have the podium. I have the ear of all the viewers right now. That's right. You know, so I do have the power. However, I don't have any of the buttons. I don't have any of the buttons other than the leave button. I'll do that if Bonnie tells me to. Uh, Let me see. I do. No. All I have is mic, cam, chat, and leave. So I don't know. I guess I'll just like ride this wave as long as I have the power. Like it'd be foolish to squander the opportunity if you do have the power. Like for whatever reason, it just so happens that the power falls in your lap. You don't just squander that. You don't just walk away. You take that opportunity and you embrace it, right? You know, you can't just squander these things. You know, even with the bad weather, there's a beauty to it. You know, I mean, you got to be optimistic. You know, however, I tend to be that way. Good luck, Bonnie. Much success. And for what it's worth, I'll use all my power to let you back on your own show. But, you know, what good is power when you don't have, for example, the purse? Here in the United States, we have executive branch. That guy's doing stuff, and he doesn't even know what he's doing or what planet he's on, probably. But then, you know, you got the purse, the power of the purse that Congress is supposed to wield, right? That's what the House does. They got the money. So even though here I am center stage, right? Everyone's listening to me, but I have no way of letting Bonnie up. I got no money. I can't push the buttons, can't do anything, you know? Well, it's checks and balances for you. We just got to wait. Maybe the military will take over. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No need to go there. I need a beer and a bowl. I haven't really had a taste for alcohol lately. I'm not going to lie. Never been one to really drink all that much. Had a couple beers on my birthday, and that was enough. Felt pretty good. I liked the taste of it. See, you guys are great. I'm having a blast over here. We've discussed several things. We've discussed politics in a sense, you know, checks and balances, optimism, additives, and gas. We're on a roll here. One thing you need to remember is in this weather, I would say specifically, is make sure you're eating healthy. Not just eating healthy, but, you know, go ahead and have seconds. I think that's not a bad thing. I think, you know, this time of year isn't, you know, this cold weather. We need to have some nourished bodies, help fight off any of those unwelcome little buggers that come by and really ruin our day, give us the sniffles, give us headaches, upset tummies. We don't want that. So part of that is, you know, hey, maybe have a little bit of seconds. Not on the dessert so much. Easy on the sugar there, folks. You know, let's not go full on that, but maybe have a second portion of vegetables. You know. Well, we're still waiting on Bonnie. Let's see. No UFOs lately. That's unfortunate too. I mean, you know, all this hype. I feel let down. I feel like there should be something. You know, like I don't know. They just kind of, and it's nothing. Hasn't been anything new. I think in one of the Southern American countries, they had a government show us these two little figurine aliens. They're like, yep, there is the real deal. Here, I found them in my cereal box, but they're the real deal. You know, they won't share them with anybody. They won't let other countries in to look and give samples and stuff like that. It's all very capped. It's all very sterile according to their wishes and stuff. And it's just kind of a letdown, you know. Not one like UFO crashes into something. Hey, welcome back, Bonnie.
Woo! That was crazy. Oh my
You're
gosh.
telling me about it. Whew. Now I need
you
a beer.
you were doing great. I was laughing so hard. You were doing really good.
Yeah,
Oh my
thank you, and thank
gosh.
you, everybody in chat for being so kind and not picking on me as much as you could have been. I appreciate that.
Excuse me. So I'm on my phone. We don't have internet in the house at all now. And I have never done a live stream on my phone. So that I figured that out when I am so tech illiterate. I think I did pretty good.
Hey, you made it back though, and you sound great. Sounds clear. That's good.
Thank you. Good.
And you know, you're my first guest on my Bonnie show as well. I
Well,
was
that's
saying.
great. So, did you talk about tips and stuff? And
Oh,
somebody gave
sure.
a good tip that you were saying was really good. I only caught bits and pieces. KY Moon, go
You're
ahead.
gonna have to go back and watch Bonnie. We can't relive that. You got to go back and watch from the beginning and then catch up.
Okay.
We just talked about, loose clothing, tucking your sweatpants in your socks, kind of a thing. We talked about potentially fuel additives for the car, running the car. Even if you're not necessarily driving anywhere, but when it's real cold, it's not a bad idea to do that.
Yes,
Um,
antifreeze.
um, I did talk about myself a lot. It seems like I shared some stories. I had a situation where the wind knocked over the cap of an exhaust that's sticking out of my roof. I shared that. I was keeping people entertained, and I kind of expressed a little bit of the concept of democracy, mob rule, checks and balances. I was just having fun, just talking.
Thank you, Sean. You take care.
Okay,
Have
I'll
a good
mute now.
nap. You don't have to mute. So, is there any other tips y'all got? Uh, I'm really like, I want to talk about this warrior stuff. Seafoam. What do you do with seafoam?
Seafoam is a fuel additive. That's my preferred fuel additive. We were kind of talking
Oh,
about Al Bundy doesn't use any. He's a real man. He's like, I tell my gas, you stay liquid, don't gel up, and it does. I have to use Seafoam. Just is what it is.
hey, Echo. Nightmare, good to see you. Don't run with scissors. Yeah. They see me walking with a knife. I'm like holding it out. And the girls are, what are you doing? Just making sure I don't fall on it. Please give the dog I sent. I'm gonna let you some of the good steak, please, right? I want some of the good steak. That's when I ordered my meat. I was like, and I want a few T-bones. And he said, we are all out of T-bones. And I said, no, can't be. Absolutely, all is well with our souls. Echo, good to see you. Okay. I think I remember George talking about seafoam, candles under clay pots, and I've got clay pots. Yeah, and so that's the um what I say that channel was, the Fourth Watch. Have you ever heard of it, Roman?
I haven't. I have to check it out.
Um, and I think it was sent to me a video from it that they had done, and so then I had to go to YouTube and look it up and then subscribe, because if it's sent to you, then you know how it goes. Anyway, um, but it was really interesting the way they were explaining biblical biblically the role of the men as warriors, and the um the the training, the getting in shape, the um that the men are supposed to like constantly be on. Echo sent it to me. There you go. Thank you, Echo. Um, that they're constantly supposed to be in that position to be the protectors and the warriors in whatever situation might be needed. And it was always that way biblically, where um, and they even got into their role as the um, the provider, the family man, being the spiritual leader, the leader telling each person the plan if anything happens, any kind of disaster, whatever. Um, it's just, it was a really good. And so now that I'm on my phone, I don't know how to drop links for anything like that. But
Oh, I
Echo,
think
if you're able to, that would be great.
yeah. Echo asked if she should. So yeah, thank you, Echo. That's awesome. I was trying to look for it,
Yes,
but
please. Thank you, Aniat Jack.
thank you.
Yep. Share those share those links. Yes, What Life. And that was exactly what they were talking about too. The stripping the warrior nature and the um deconstruction of the family, demasculinization. They were talking about all of that. And yes, the the Bible does reference and guide us through life's passages. And so that's why I really did listen to it, because um, I think that that's the path we need to take, is the biblical path, whether it's been manipulated or whatever it's been done. That's the word that we have gone by. And I still stand by the morals that it is teaching in there, the laws of the land that it teaches us. I still think that that is the best life. Whether I'm still going to follow it.
I agree, and as do I. I think what it comes down to is that we can't, nor would we, if we could, force people to do those kinds of things, right? Like it's their choice and we respect it.
Right.
For me, it's the best choice, and that's how I'm going to live. If someone else decides they want to live a different way, I don't have a problem with them. I don't seek war on them because they live differently than me. But, you know,
No, but I think that, and it's, we were talking about living by example and being more of a pillar to those around us, the kids especially. You know, this 5-year-old, I'm really having to, because she's in a family structure that is a lot different than my teachings. And so, um, but I want her to have both sides. That's fine. Because then she has a more broader scope and hopefully an open mind to what seems to work best. And yes, I did notice that they are using civil uh, a lot more. Pebbles. Um, I also noticed in the headlines, whenever there's a court case, it seems that they keep using um, de facto. They keep using the words de facto. And used to be, you never heard that when they were doing a court case. They wouldn't say that it was under the de facto. And so, is it possible that they are starting to distinguish between there being a de facto court and a de jure court?
I think it's possible.
Well, and then that would mean that we're on the right path with learning the Constitution and the language to be able to represent ourselves and request a de jure court where you have the grand jury and
Yeah.
everything
The
else.
Constitution mentions some stuff, but that's kind of like a Black's Law uh, dictionary type stuff, that legal speak, if you will.
Yes,
That's part of it. I mean,
yes,
as far as
and
the
that's
Constitution goes, it does say you think if it's a charge over $25, then you have the right to a jury of 12 of your own peers. I believe that's what it says.
yeah, and that's the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. And um, Al, it's funny that you said that Spanish. I just read an article today. This man, he's he's an American, but he moved to Mexico, and he said that he's noticed a lot more Americans are moving to Mexico, and so he was giving them tips of how to get along and act in Mexico. Um, and one of them was speak their language. And excuse me, it's the same as us here. You know, we expect people to use English whenever they come to America. And um, I really wish I could read my text right now.
Oh, you're making that buzzing noise. I'm over here looking
Yes,
like, what the heck is that?
because I'm getting texts and of course it's overheating, so this won't be a real long live, but so I'm trying to get as much out as I can. I don't know what Dominus is not final resolution. Basic traveling human 101. Yes, but he was even talking about not living in the old older Airbnbs because they have usually chased someone out of there so that they could move an American in there. Or, I don't know, but I can try and get back in my Spanish. Um, Working in a convenience store or restaurants, a lot of the places that I've worked where you have to work with the public, you kind of have to know Spanish, um, especially the money part of it, you know. And so I could count. It's been a long time since I've used Spanish. I'll just have to start working on that.
Well, hey, they got Google Translate on your cell phone, so you
Yes.
can whip that out and be speaking any language.
Well, and that's my daughters are learning Hungarian, and I mean, it doesn't hurt to have multiple languages, I guess, now since we have 140 countries representing in here now. And it's good to be able to at least tell them stop, go, whatever you need to say. No, Gigi, I'm still homeschooling her. Oh man, you should see her. She's doing subtraction. I am so proud of her. She was already doing addition. Now she's doing subtraction. She's trying to sound out the words. She's doing good. And that's what it, uh, these Asian kids that are going to school here, they are on it. They're way far ahead of us, and that's that's what I want her to be, ahead of the game. 350 languages spoken in the U.S. Okay, well, I'm I could give the finger in 15 languages. That's great. I don't know about 350 languages. There's no way. I was
You
told
don't think
if you
so?
take Latin, that if you learn Latin, then you can speak any language there is. For some reason, Latin is the
I don't believe that.
I don't I don't know. I've never heard Latin. I don't know.
Oh, you've heard Latin. Latin is often spoken a lot in law. That's you just
Oh,
said de facto, de jure. Those are two Latin terms. Boom. Like the thing about Latin, so there's five Romance languages that are based off of Latin, right? You have Italian, French, Portuguese, um, Romanian, and Spanish, right? Those are the
right.
five Romance languages. They're based off of Latin, but also so is law, right? That's where you get a lot of the stuff we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Um,
And doesn't the Catholic Church use Latin also?
it does, yeah. The Bible used to be written in only Latin, and so that way the Roman Catholics could control everybody's mind by not letting them read it on their own, because you had to know Latin to read it. But yeah, you're right.
Okay, Elaine, what's the difference in infiltration and invasion? Infiltration is they're here to stay no matter what.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's tactics, invasion, they're coming, guns drawn, infiltration, they sneak in, and then whip them out,
Oh, but they've been
kind of a
coming
thing.
across with guns. That's what. And I was gonna show a video of the southern border. So the National Guard has stepped up, and they are blocking the border patrol. So the border patrol is government, and the National Guard is state, and so now they're um, really hammering that about Texas blocking the border patrol, that we're going against government law, and so it could get pretty hairy. But I'm proud of it, but at the same time, I think they waited too late. We've got at least 80 million people in here or more. You see all the other cities. Now we've got these ridiculously low temperatures that a lot of these people are not used to. They're from countries that don't experience this extreme cold, and so we've got a problem.
They've got a problem. They ain't my problem, first of all,
Okay,
but
well,
um,
our country has a problem.
pardon me, sorry about that. I think I was actually thinking about this earlier, and I kind of had a little different notion on it that maybe this is a better timing for Texas to do that, activate the National Guard in this respect, because now the federal government and the military, they got wars started on all kinds of fronts, right? They're popping off in Yemen. They're still, stuff in
Yes,
Poland, apparently. There's, you know what I mean? So now they're getting stretched real thin. They're moving the battleships out. They're depleting resources. So I can see how, that works to Texas's benefit, because now it's just simply a matter of logistics. There's just less to deal with that, right? So Texas is, I could see that being a benefit, I guess. I don't know if they were trying to do it that way or if it
because
just so happened, but
yeah, I don't know either. I don't. I mean, there's a plan. There's always a plan, and um, it's election year, so you're gonna see some things that may look good for a minute, but then what's the repercussions of it? Um, Elaine, Muslims, Brotherhood, and Zionists. Explain, please. Because I'm seeing a lot of news about that. And the Zionists, like maybe George was right.
yeah. Well, who are those guys digging the tunnels underneath New York,
Mm-hmm.
causing problems for people? That's not very neighborly.
And but that's true. I think it was White Live. Somebody said is the cat that so immigration is done in a whole different way than it's been done now, and we know that, and that's why it is illegal, and that's why they're saying that the illegals, because they're not coming into the United States legally.
Hey, look, Elaine's saying justice and freedom and humanity is coming. Plan flip. Well, that's great news. I love that. I like that. I think
Heck yeah.
all that sounds pretty good. That New York tunnel story is weird. That wasn't, I don't care what they're saying, that wasn't just to go to synagogue. You want to go to synagogue, you walk down the street. I just watched a documentary on how these folks in New York have their own police department. All right. I don't remember what denomination of Judaism or whatever it was. So they got their neighborhood on lock. They got their own police and their own, not their police aren't armed or anything like that, but they know like martial arts and stuff. They'll put a hurting on you. I wouldn't pick on anybody, you know. They'll bend you up like a pretzel, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
you know, so they take care of their own. So I mean, if they want to go to synagogue, they just go. It's not a problem. The whole tunnel business doesn't look good. It really does not look good for anybody. Just saying, not for them anyway.
Yeah. New York City has closed, and I saw where Chicago, she was saying something about like she wants to help them all. And um they're stretched. They're sleeping in the police stations. They're sleeping all over the place. And so what's the concern next is um that, and they've already mentioned it, that we should share our homes. Did you hear that one? That would be
Nope, I surely didn't hear that. That's adorable.
an
I'm not opposed to sharing my home. I have very unique characteristics I would expect in a roommate. It's just, I don't know if any of them would fit a bill. I'm willing to set up an interview process. I'm not a hater. I'll set up an interview process. I'll talk to some people, take some applications, and we'll just see where it goes from there.
yeah. Yeah, and I think they are talking about it in Congress. I was listening to a couple of things that they've been saying there. All our government and who's who, and bringing in. Yeah, I agree. How can we have another election after 20? It just blows me away that everybody's kind of like,
Hey, Cindy.
we have to vote, and how's it going to be different? And now, are they going to let all these other people that have come in vote? Oh, that's what the lady in Chicago was saying. She wants the immigrants there so she can do the redistricting. Redistricting.
Oh, I bet she does.
Yes. I mean, just came right out and said it. And I was like, whoa.
That takes some brass, right, to just come out and say that. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. I'm human trafficking for my benefit. So I can basically plot a coup.
Hey, Garrett. Cindy, good to see you. Baby water bottles. Yeah. Um, well, I could have had something to do with that. I put it on Facebook. No, you're not in the same place, Garrett. I put on Facebook a lot of the tips that you gave me, Ronan, and then um, telling people to stock up on their pantry goods and um, fill water buckets and pots and everything they can fill with water in case the water, if the power goes, the water goes.
Well, and I think ultimately what we should also talk about is to not panic. I think a lot of times panic is what invokes bad decision making. So just keep a cool head about you
Yes.
and make good choices. You'll be
Yes.
just fine.
And that's where most of us are ahead of the game. We're like stay prepped all the time, but which people all people should do. That's um elderly people seem to be hoarders of food anyway. And so my mom is well stocked. I checked her pantry and she's that. She's not gonna starve.
And I'd say if worst case scenario, if you lose power and you're worrying about pipes freezing in your house, I would shut off the main water valve to your house and then open up all the faucets and let all the water drain out of the pipes. And that way, if it does freeze, the idea would be leaving the faucet open. The ice would expand in the pipes if there's any left, and won't burst the pipes. It'll push air out through the faucet. Right?
Yeah,
That's
that's what
something that you can consider.
that's what the city was telling us to do, and um, running hot and cold water. It should be a mixture of both. And they told us to start doing that this morning early, like at 6 a.m. And so I've got that going. I've been washing stuff all day, clothes, blankets, curtains, sheets, whatever, to keep the water flowing. I think they're a part of it, Cindy. I don't know if they're the total.
They pretty much are.
Absolutely, the cat. Stand tall and be ready in a minute for whatever happens next. Yeah, Mayorkas trying to impeach him. Absolutely. Nothing like fresh, clean sheets. Whoops. Oh, hey, I can do that. I'm learning as I go. Ow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Dragon, Year of the Dragon stuff.
Oh,
I don't know.
cut the alcohol in the toilet. What does that do?
Oh yeah, they'll keep the water in the toilet from freezing. The alcohol
Oh,
would.
okay.
And I know they actually make like RV antifreeze or something like that. That's for toilets and stuff. But yeah, you definitely don't want that water freezing up.
No,
Hey, Dorinda.
I didn't even think about the water freezing in the toilets. Thank y'all.
What's saying that Dragon and Saturn there's some correlation between that. I think I've heard that as well, and I don't know how to take it because like that whole concept comes from different parts of the world too. So that's a maybe it's like in just kind of thinking of it, it's like kind of like also in my 2 cents, and I might be wrong, but perhaps like resembling somehow the synagogue of Satan because they seem to kind of have their heads in everywhere, corrupting things and making life difficult.
Yeah, Pebbles. Um, that's one of the things that they're using in their fight about the border and the National Guard closing it off. Excuse me. Um, so they're saying that it's keeping the Border Patrol from handling emergencies. So, from what I understand, they took over this park. The park is inside Eagle Pass. Am I right about that? I'm gonna have to do a little more research on that. But so apparently the park goes right up to the river, and that's how they've been letting them in. And so I just, there shouldn't be any emergencies. They should not be getting in that water in these temperatures, especially. It it all just seems so planned, weird. I don't know. It just it just all seems weird. But we'll see what happens. I just think that um, we have cartels down there that could get a little angry over all this. We have um, Border Patrol that's getting angry. Um, and people kind of do some stupid things when they're angry.
Well, the cold will definitely slow them down. I'm convinced of that. And let's not forget, Elaine did say that we're going to get justice and peace, and the script has flipped. So I'm living that life. You're depressing me. I'm with Elaine. They're going to get it. Justice is coming.
That's right.
Um,
Everything is
so,
going to be
yep.
right. Oh, each year of the dragon had some very strange events. Well, we are definitely in strange times, so yep. See where that would happen. Yes, Cindy, I agree. Well, at first I was really angry. And I had to just calm myself down because what can I do? I mean, I'm one little old lady. Go stand down there and tell them, go back. I don't think they're going to listen to me. Um, and I was angry at our state for not stopping it immediately.
You guys are
Renan's
cracking me
the
up in
host.
chat.
Yes, he is.
It's backwards, world.
I really appreciate you, Ronan.
Hey,
That
no
took
sweat.
me a minute to figure out something.
Probably about 20, but hey, who's counting? You know what I mean?
It
I
was.
charge by the word, FYI. No, I'm kidding.
When I went to the link that I sent you, then it put me backstage like a guest, and I was all, well, that's not doing me any good because Rona can't let me up. And so then I was just in chat, and then I was like, okay, let me try it a different way. And so I had to go to my StreamYard and log in. What's weird is if I go up on someone's panel with StreamYard, um, when I leave their StreamYard, it gives me the option to create one on mine. And so I didn't think it would be that hard to get in, but it it kind of was.
I'm not making fun of you, Elaine. I'm not making fun of you. I fear your wrath, number one. And I'm making fun with you, not at you. I want that to be true. I don't know the future. Nobody does. Everybody's just guessing. Only God knows the future. He's the one that wrote it. We're just kind of along for the ride, the best I figured out at this point. So I love you. You're my sister. And I'm judgment proof. So you know what that is. It means you got nothing to soothe. So I'm a little bit more free in that way. When they say you'll owe nothing and be happy, there's a little bit of truth to that. People threaten you with lawsuits, but it's like, yeah, good luck. You ain't getting blood from a rock, but that's okay. And I know you're just joking back too, Elaine. I just wanted to clear the air.
Hilarious too. It's funny you mentioned that. So, um, when I went to the resort with the girls the other day, we were coming back, and on our um, when you're coming into the town, there's a big sign up there, and of course it's got LBJ and all that. But in the middle of it, there was a Israeli flag hanging there, and that really surprised me. But the town does have a Mason building too, with the symbols we all know well. And so I don't know. It just surprised me because the people here are pretty set in their ways and stubborn and hard headed, and
I do not accept that, Pebbles. Sorry, I just want to throw that out there. I do not agree to that. I rarely put the stuff in the engine I know too much is a bad thing. And you got a point. It will seize up the engine. But like once every, I want to say every few months, but I drive a lot. I deliver packages and put a lot of miles on my ride.
yep.
You guys are a lot of fun tonight. I appreciate this. Thank you, Bonnie. Got a lot of good advice.
You,
Got a lot of good pointers. Had a lot of
I
fun.
know. Great chat always. Cindy, I'll be ready for that party too. About the adventure, not the journey. Well, every
Very true.
day's an adventure. I mean, if you think about it, crazy times, you have to think of it as an adventure. It's it's we are learning so much, we're seeing so much. It's like um We just have to keep on doing the best we can and figure out what's the best way to proceed from here. Because I think that there's going to be a turning point where I think things are going to change. And it's up to us to decide how that change is going to be, I think. They may try to persuade us to their change, but um, that's where you're going to be standing tall and deciding whether you want to comply or not. I guess you've heard about the new disease that got out.
Oh yeah, just in time, right? Like
Right. And then
you thought we were gonna lick this slavery and all this nonsense and stuff going on. Nope,
yes.
we got
And
whatever
then
they
I
got thrown
saw
at us
where
now.
China is taking the coronavirus and turning it into something where all the mice died within 8 days. And I was like, oh my goodness, here we go. It could be a false flag, fear mongering thing, just to try to cause fear. I don't know. I just we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, we know to stay on top of our health regardless of what they throw at us. We know our best practices and what we got to do. We learned from the dry run just like they did, I guess. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one thing. Also, this time of year, our immune systems are a little lower because of the weather and the winter time anyway. So I
Hey,
reminded
Andy.
everybody to eat their vegetables tonight, Bonnie, when you were.
Oh,
So I
good.
was, yeah.
Yeah, 24-hour prayer is good. Oh, we need to stay in prayer just daily. Can't hurt.
Hey, hey, apple dumpling. I don't know if I said hi to you. You're just snuck
Hi,
in.
apple dumpling. I don't see apple dumpling.
There's these
Oh,
dry
there she
lips.
is. Yep.
Did I miss you, Indy? I don't see Indy. Hi, Indy, if you're here. That's what the cat's saying.
Yeah. That's. I didn't see Indy either, so I said hello just in case.
That's funny.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down because my phone's getting so hot I can't even hardly handle it. and um, we'll see what happens if I can get my computer going, internet. Most likely not tomorrow for sure. Indy will be live tomorrow. Um, but y'all just please stay safe. Try not to go anywhere if you can with all the crazy weather and eat lots of bacon. There you go. Excuse me.
Well, I thank everybody for being a good sport and playing along with me tonight. Well, we had a little bit of technical difficulty. I
And
had a
thank
lot of
you
fun with
again, Ron.
everybody. Much love and blessings.
Yes. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to share was the video of Cash Kelly. He's out of the J6 jail, and um, he is starting back up the movement. Unite, don't fight. Um, be a street light for others to see. It's like kind of like a beacon in the night. Um, he's very uh, scripture oriented also, and if y'all get a chance, it's spelled with a K, Cash Kelly, and he is on YouTube and Facebook if you have Facebook. And he's a good guy. He is who I started out with, and that's how I met Hawk. That's how I met everybody. And no, he's not a Freemason. Elaine. Um. Anyway, y'all all have a blessed night, blessed week. If I don't see you, stay safe, and I'll find you somewhere around the tube. We'll go live whenever we can. Anything else you want to say, Ronan?
Nope.
You already said it.
Yep.
God bless y'all and have a good night. Now, I don't know if when I end this, I'll be backstage with you. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. End stream.